Hey, anyone who might be watching my channel now. Just staying at home, relaxing. I just came back from the blood donor, for the second time, and that was fun. I felt like I wanted to review another movie that I've watched, and why not review a movie that has stayed with me for a while and that I do think about, and just a movie that inspired me the first time I watched it, and kind of was one of the reasons why I wanted to become a filmmaker, and the reason why I studied at film school. And that film was The Matrix. Now, I first watched The Matrix when I was about 6 years old in 2006, and I was expecting it to be just basically this really cutting edge action movie with a lot of cool special effects, and I'd say it being really action packed and being really revolutionary, and it was. It was many of those things, but one of the things that I didn't realize when I first watched it is I didn't realize just how dark the movie is. I mean, this is not a typical action movie, as you can see. It really wasn't like anything else that came out in the 90s, and it kind of changed everything after it came out. And if you haven't watched it already, I mean, I'm about to spoil the whole premise of it. So if you want to watch it and experience the massive twist that is in this movie, I would recommend you go watch it now. But anyway, yeah, the whole deal with this movie is that the whole first act of the movie isn't actually real. It is real in a sense. I mean, the people in the Matrix are real. There are real people, but the world itself is counterfeit. It's not real. It is a electric computer generated fabrication called the Matrix. And Neo starts to learn in this first half an hour that after he meets a strange man called Morpheus and meets a bunch of rebels, he starts to realize that the world around him is probably not what it seems. Strange things start to happen. He gets caught by an agent called Agent Smith, and he has like a tracker device which is disguised as a bug, which very creepily burrows into his belly button, which I thought was very creepy the first time I watched it. That was a pretty wacky scene, I have to admit. And later on, he is faced with a choice where he has to take the red pill or the blue pill. Now, this whole scene kind of signifies the point of no return. Once he learns the truth about the world he lives in, he cannot go back to the person he used to be. He cannot forget about what he has learnt. He takes a red pill, and let's see, another very strange and creepy scene unfolds. He touches a mirror. The mirror, like, consumes his hand, starts to consume his body, and he becomes consumed by this thing, a really, really, really weird, wacky computer generated noise plays as he screams, as he drowns in this fluid. I never really knew what that meant. But next thing you know, he is waking up in a red pod of slime. Now, a lot of people think that this is just a pod of slime, but it is implied that he is actually surrounded in the liquefied entrails of dead humans. I mean, that's what it is. It's liquefied human flesh. It's really creepy. And he gets unplugged, he falls down the water slide tube thingy, gets pulled into the ship, and Morpheus then further explains what the Matrix is. That and he explains why the Matrix was made and how it works, and basically tells Neo that his entire life was just a fabrication, and the Matrix is used to imprison humans for power, to power the machines or whatever they're called. And Neo has a panic attack. He cannot believe what he was just told. He vomits on the floor, and that's basically the end of the dark part of this movie. That's the dark part of the movie. After that, first act is over, which is the scary part of the movie, in my opinion. The fun begins. The fun part of the movie begins. He learns to train kung fu. He learns kind of the tips and tricks and rules of the Matrix that can be broken. He fights with Morpheus, and Morpheus is like, wow, he is fast, and then he reveals to Neo that he might be the one that can save the Matrix and free everyone from the Matrix, and he can see what the Matrix really is. And anyway, yeah, the movie goes on. Morpheus gets captured by Agent Smith, and Morpheus is interrogated by him. Basically, told he needs information from him about Zion, and Trinity and Neo go into the lobby. There's an awesome epic shootout sequence, which was very revolutionary for the time. They were running up walls, doing backflips, cartwheels in slow motion, lots and lots of flying rubble. And then we get to the rooftop scene, which is where the iconic bullet time sequence is shot, which was revolutionary for the time. It was like all these cameras in a circle, like spinning around in a circle, while Keanu Reeves flipped backward, and the bullets are flying past his face. And when you see the making of it, it looks really silly, but when it's done in the movie, it's just an awesome, jaw-dropping special effect that people just want to play again and again and again because it's just so awesome to watch. And then you have the final fight with Neo and Smith in the subway, which is also another awesome scene with another bullet time shot, which is just as good as the first one. There are only 2 bullet time shots in the movie. If they really are going to make a Matrix 4, which they are planning on doing so, it better have like bullet time on steroids, like a lot of... I'm not talking about the Matrix Reloaded, but I'll talk about that maybe later on, but you know what I mean. It needs to be... It's been almost 20 years since the first one, so it's got to look way better with all the modern cinematography techniques and camera work that has evolved since then. But anyway, yeah, this was a very, very, very awesome film when it first came out. It kind of changed the industry once again of just how action movies can be made and stories can be told. It was a revolutionary step forward for sci-fi. Do I think it's overrated? A bit. I think it is a touch overrated. I don't think it's the 3rd best science fiction movie of all time. It probably was up there when it first came out, but I think since then it has slowly gone down the list of people thinking it's not as revolutionary as it once was. I'm kind of on the same standpoint as the nostalgia critic on this. It's a good movie, but I do not think it is a... I mean, is it a masterpiece? I don't know. It was definitely genre defining when it first came out, but it just hasn't aged very well. And the more you watch it, you can kind of pick out its flaws, and that it's not perfect, but it is a very, very, very well crafted film, which actually gave me an existential crisis the first time I saw it. I actually did question the world for a bit after I watched that movie, and I haven't watched that movie for years, but I still have the whole thing memorized in my head. I can basically just memorize the entire script of it, but I'll be here for like half an hour, like almost 2 hours if I did, because I still basically remember everything about that movie because I think I've seen it about 15 times in my life. But anyway, very entertaining movie. If you haven't watched it yet, definitely watch it. You will not regret it. It is a dark... I will say that a lot of people don't talk about what's beyond the surface of this film. There is dark stuff in this movie and some semi-horror stuff in this movie, which a lot of people don't talk about, which is funny because that stuff is in there. I mean, it's rated R in America, which is like the most intense rating you can give to a movie, which is not NC-17, which is basically, what I'm talking about. But in Australia, we have G, PG, M, MA, and R, and GPG kind of stands for themselves. M is Australia's PG-13. MA is like the same thing as America's R, except it's 15 and not 17. You can bring people under 15 into an MA-15 movie, but you need to be with an adult. And basically, yeah, if they find kids in an MA-15 movie theatre, the security guard will probably want them to leave the theatre. And then R is, 18 and over. It is legal to watch a movie in a movie theatre that's rated R if you're under 18, even though I've never seen anyone be arrested or charged to watching an R-18 movie who is not 18. I don't think it's a criminal offence, but I don't know. I really don't know. Anyway, I would give The Matrix an 8 out of 10. Definitely watch it. It is an awesome experience.